Hey folks, Steve here with a unboxing video for Hearts and Minds Vietnam 1965 to 1975. I just got this game during the Compass sale that is 40% off right now amidst the virus situation. So I got this the other day, and this is a little bit of a cheating video because I removed the plastic wrap and had a quick gander through before I put it all neatly back in the box to do this video. Now, it looks a little dark in here and the lighting's different. Why is that? Well, my power is out. And so I am recording this video on my phone, and hopefully with the power coming back on a little bit later, I'll be able to get this uploaded. But right now I don't have power for my computer, and I do not have uh, um, I don't have internet, so this is just something to do what I can here with nothing but a dark room and some window light to work with outside. But that's not good enough. So let's get this thing going here. I'm gonna set down my phone camera and just get the box off. Okay, so here's what we got. Now I had read online that there was like comically large dice in the box, and no, they're not. Maybe I didn't get the comically large dice, but these aren't that much bigger than other dice, so I'm a little disappointed. I was expecting absurd dice, but no. So what's for that? Okay, and then we've got cards. So Hearts and Minds, Vietnam 1965, 1975. I'll just call it Hearts and Minds from now on. Is a card-driven game. You can kind of see, except for the glare on the wrapping. Cards have a point value up on the top. They have an event. You can potentially use. What's different with this game, I believe, is that you can use the card value, like the 3 up there, to do the event that costs 2, and then if you have 1 left over, you can actually do something with that leftover point. Now, my understanding is there was some errata in some cards and some counters and a couple other things, and that new cards were printed and put with the rest of the fine cards, the cards that didn't have errata. I'm going to double check this later, and I'll put a comment in the comment section if I have a major issue. I do like the color of the cards. It's a very nice colored green. I really appreciate that for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, so these are the cards. You get a pretty decent stack of them. I'll probably end up, unwrapping them and putting them in a card box or something. But yeah, so there's that. Have you ever watched an unboxing video done by cell phone flashlight? Yeah. Rules of play. Okay, so this is the rules of play. It is glossy paper, full color pictures, sort of stylized section noting. You can see, and so there's like a lot of, I don't know, it pops. I'll say that, and then boosh, there goes that color, all that green, the blues and the reds, with the example of play, all looking very, very, I don't know, the production values are certainly up there. And then you've got scenarios running from 1965 all the way through. And so some of that stylized text is kind of hard to read, up to the 70s, in playing basically to the bitter end. And I overall like the presentation of this. Now, I've read online, again, that green just, for some reason, that green just really pops for me. I don't know what it is. It's probably the lighting. I've read that the rules have some things where, like, people are frustrated by it. I'm not sure how that'll go for me. I hear that this is a good game. This is like the third printing of it, a third edition, done by, this time by Compass, and they kind of went all out to give you a deluxe sort of experience like you might see in other games, that from other publishers, which is, hey, it's deluxe, everything's all out, the components are supposed to be great. I just think somebody had said, like, oh, well, the way that the rules are organized and explained is not ideal, but Other people have said it's fine, and if you look at comments on Board Game Geek, like it's a mix. So you've got people saying, "Oh, this edition's got a bunch of problems," and blah blah blah, and then there are other folks saying, "No, it's completely fine. They're overblowing those issues, and it's a fantastic version of the game." So I don't know. Take that how you will. I will say that my copy, I believe it is a newly bought copy and includes errata. That if you bought the copy the first time around, right when it came out, this edition, uh, Compass is my understanding would if you let them know and you don't have the errata components, they could send you some new cards and stuff and some new counters. So I don't know, just keep that in mind. For me, I believe I have all the good stuff, unless they screwed up in this particular game package. But I'm pretty sure that I've got the latest stuff. Now, here is something that I guess is newer to this edition of the game, which is the Solitaire Play Guide, or the Solitaire System, even. So, this is an 8-page Solitaire guide that sort of explains how to play this game solo, that there are bots. So, as I flip through, you'll start to see, the sequence of play, and then there's a red bot for the communists, there's a blue bot for the allied factions. So you can play either side with your opponent being a bot. And then here is apparently how you know if your copy has the errata. If you've bought a new copy and you look to the back of this and you see errata as of 19th of August 2019, then your copy of the game evidently has the errata components, the fixed components. But here is one thing to watch out for. So this lists out the things that otherwise you need to watch out for that have not been addressed by replacement cards or replacement counters. So there's some minor stuff on the map. There's some things noted in the example of play. And just so you know, like, they didn't change the rule book. So this just points out what is wrong in the rule book. They didn't change it. And while I'm holding the Solitaire guide and the back of it says errata, it points out errata that exists in the Solitaire play guide itself. And I looked in the pages, those pages were not fixed. So you do have to refer to this errata sheet. Now, it is the latest errata, so if you're like, you like to print out errata and then just have it at the table to double check, you have it here on the back of your book, which is nice. And what they did was to kind of save money on, so they're not reprinting everything, is that, if you look at how this is, normal stapled, right? That the back sheet matches the same sheet of paper as the front sheet, right? It's just layered paper and then stapled in the middle. They basically just had to reprint the front cover, back cover sheet instead of print, so that's like 1/8 of the cost of reprinting the Solitaire Play Guide. So it just means you have to reference this. Not a big deal. It's fine. The fact that I guess this edition even has Solitaire is pretty cool. And I appreciate that, because that's probably going to be how I play this game for the first time. Though I think my wife will end up playing this with me. She might be willing. Let's see what else we get. So we get a... Make sure I'm reading this right. It is some sort of player aid card. So there's a... I'm going to watch that glare. I'm sorry, guys. I should really hold things at an angle. There's an interface summary. So, yeah, there's that stuff there. Victory goals. What is Vietnamization and how does that work? Reinforcement schedules. Some charts. On the back, where to deploy units. Sequence of play, battle sequence, battle table. Pretty standard type of stuff for a player aid chart. Again, color, nice stock. Again, the green just permeates everything, which is cool. A second copy of what looks like the exact same player aid chart. And then we have... I can't tell if this is just a flowchart of the game or if this is meant to be for the bots. Pacify and political control procedure. Don't know. Interface, combat procedure. This might not be for Solitaire. This might just be for the game, which is kind of interesting. I like flowcharts, guys. You wouldn't know that about me unless I said it, but I do. I like flowcharts. I do. So, I know my way around a Visio diagram. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That helps, like, okay, I need to do I need to do something. How do I know what I'm doing and what's the order of operations? This can help guide somebody through it. So I really like that. That's cool. I like that. I'm gonna have to, it'll be worth like going through this and really understanding. And will I need it after reading the rules, or will I be okay? But it's nice to see. Um, and then here are some of the counters. So these counters are, as you can kind of start to tell, they're brown core. The lighting makes that hard to tell, but they are brown core, and they have the sort of rounded uh, counters, high quality counters where they're going to be really easy to punch. They're not on like a line of connected counters. So they're going to be just high quality counters in general, which is very cool. I kind of call this like the coin treatment, even though we're talking about a different publisher. It's just that these game publishers are starting to have similar form factor to their components, and this is again one of those deluxe versions. Now, one of the issues, I guess, in the original print was that some of the blue allied faction veteran units didn't have their combat or movement ratings, and as far as I can tell, this counter sheet, which I think the veteran status is all on the back, as you can see here, I think I've got them all there. So evidently, this either they reprinted counter sheet one, or I'm not sure what, but I believe I have all the counters the way they're supposed to be. So you got some number counters I'm not sure about, some basic administrative counters, and your units and some control markers. Pretty straightforward stuff. You sort of similarly have the red faction. They also have veteran status on the back, and look like some sort of guerrillas, VC guerrillas, bad intel counters. And then I would have to imagine this is Republic of or the Arvin forces, probably. Yes, I see the little Arvin there, and a few other counters and whatnot. And then they got some blanks, which, when you see that, I guess that to me, it's always a question of, well, you could have done something else with these, right? Um, like that could have been space used for extra markers of something, but if it's not needed, it's not needed. So there you go. And then, oh, yes, yes, okay. And then finally, we have the map, which I'm going to try to get unfolded here with one hand. But hey, look, guys, it's that mounted board style I really like. Yeah, the thin but sturdy mounted map board. And as I struggle with this and try my very level best not to damage it while I fling it around, here is the map. And yeah, like I said, it's the thin mounted map style. So it's sturdy. It's going to sit under plexi nice, and it folds up thinner in the box. So getting everything back into the box after breaking up the components is going to be very, very easy. This looks to be standard map, 22 by 24, or whatever the form factor is. There are a lot of the game charts along the side, and it looks like they're situated that way for each player. So as I'm kind of looking around, yeah, it's the same charts, just mirrored. So one player's going to sit over here, one player's going to sit over here, it looks like, and they both have access to the same information. There's different charts here to be held. What's interesting is that, like, these charts to me right now are upside down, but this is facing me, and up there, Hearts and Minds is facing me. So it's very, like, the map is very neutral, I guess, in that way of reading, what's on the game chart, because it's assumed you're sitting here or you're sitting over here, and you can kind of see what you're looking at. And yeah, so there's some map errata about yellow versus red lines and stuff, and it very minor from what I can tell. But the map is pretty cool looking. Yeah, very neat. All right. Well, there we go. So, like I said, there's some stuff I'm going to be checking out. Do I have all the errata? I believe I do, based on the solitaire chart, or the solitaire errata sheet on the back. The counters all looked fine, so you know, I can't see where a mistake would have been made. So I guess I got the errata counter sheet, and then I believe we got to get out of this place is one of the cards that got errated, and it's at the top, which leads me to believe that the replacement good, you know, errated fixed cards are on the top of this stack here, and I'll rip the plastic off of these guys, and I can double check that, but I won't necessarily do that on camera. I'll let you guys go after watching this very weird video with weird lighting in my present condition. So we'll see you later, guys. Hope you enjoyed. May be able to do Hearts and Minds action here in the future. You know, I've got other games on the topic of the Vietnam War, and I say this for any time I talk about Vietnam War games that you know this was a conflict that has impacted people more recently than say like World War II. You can kind of play World War II, and you know there's a lot of those folks have who were in that conflict have passed away, and it's just you know there's more distance, but you know Vietnam is still very real to many people, and the impacts that it's had on their lives are still being felt today. So, you know, as always, I want to say, you know, never intend to make light of a subject or the history or the way it impacted people. I have relatives who were involved, and I don't think it was a very good experience for them. And so, you know, I'm excited to play the game as a game and as a simulation of the conflict, same as I am with, you know, I enjoy Fire in the Lake and I like Silver Bayonet. And as always, you know, as a way to interface with history, gaming is a great way to do it. So, um, look to, you know, you have fun, but you understand and you respect the background of what's happening here. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. We'll see you in the next video whenever I can get to that. Hopefully my power comes back on soon, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Keep gaming.